What's up, you guys? I always think it's really fascinating to hear about one person's story about how they got into credit cards. Now, you guys know that credit cards have a good side and a bad side. I say it's like the dark side and the light side, if you think about it in Star Wars. So it's very easy to fall prey to the dark side, kind of like how Anakin from Star Wars fell into the dark side and turned into Darth Vader. And I believe credit cards really is like that at the same time, because if you're disciplined and if you're able to stay and use these cards forcefully, then you're not going to really fall to the dark side, and you're really going to be able to come out on top in terms of free cash, free rewards, being able to travel first class, having status benefits, and literally getting the most craziest benefits and free money using credit cards. Alright guys, so the Discover It was my first card, and a little Discover It card hack, if you guys want to know, is you can order as many Discover card designs as you want. So I have actually 5 of them. I'm showing you guys 3 of them. My favorite one is this little pug one right here. Man, I freaking love this card. But this was my first card, and I did a ton of research about 2 years ago trying to figure out what the best starter card was, and during that time there weren't that many YouTubers in the credit card community, and there still really aren't. The 2 main ones are Ask Sebi and Credit Shifu, and I actually grew up watching them and I learned a lot from them. When I first got into credit cards, I was really fighting a negative stigma, not just with the entire world as we all know, but even inside my own household as well. So my family actually went through a lot of credit card debt when the recession hit, and there's a whole bunch of issues happening around 2008 and 2010. My parents maxed out a lot of their loans just to be able to feed our family, and it was a real difficult time for us. What my parents did was my mom opened all these credit cards just so she could feed us during that time, and she's still facing a lot of the repercussions of that in the past. But growing up, when I see credit cards, I always thought it was a really bad thing just because of the experience my own mother had. Now, you guys know me, I've always been a rebellious kid. I was never all that about school, so why would I do that about credit cards? Well, I wasn't. I still went into credit cards anyways. Now, this was my first card, like I said, you guys, and after this, I started to get into every type of card that you can think of. I got the Chase cards, I got the Uber Barclay card, and this whole binder right here is all my credit cards. So I think I have about 13, maybe 14 or 15 now. I kind of lost track because I just ordered a couple extra ones, the new Marriott Bonvoy cards. So I don't remember how many I have exactly. But the whole point is that when I first got into credit cards, it wasn't just like I knew about this side or this world of credit cards. I had no idea. A lot of my friends actually approach me now online and they're like,
"Oh my goodness, I had no idea you knew all these things about credit cards. When did you get into it?" And
people are all coming to me like this credit card guru guy, but I'm really not. I just got into it about a year or 2 ago when I started my own online business. Now, during the prime of my online business, I've mentioned this in my past videos before, I was spending a lot of money on advertisements, and I knew that I didn't want to spend this on a debit card for a few reasons. One of them include cash flow, because if someone makes a purchase on your website in e-commerce, then it's going to take about 2 to 3 days for that purchase to actually process and then get sent to your own bank account. So if you're spending a lot on ads, money is coming in 3 days later after that, then you're going to get to a point where maybe you can't scale as hard. Credit cards also give you another thing on top of that, which is benefits. Benefits have been crazy. You get 5x on advertisements if you use like the Chase Business Preferred or the Chase Business in Cash. But really, when my online business really started to take off, that's when I was like, okay, I'll get into credit cards and I'll figure it out from there. You know, once I got my first Chase card, I really went into the game heavy. I almost became obsessed. I was reading so many articles. I was always in the Reddit groups, and I realized there really was a need in the community as well. Now, I never planned on being a credit card YouTuber. That was never my intentions, but it kind of just happened after I made that one video unboxing the American Express Gold Card. Now, once I saw a lot of views on that video, I was like, okay, maybe this is gonna be something. Maybe I can take this in a direction where I can do something with it. And this is where I'm at now with about 6,000 subscribers a few months later. Now, originally this channel was actually supposed to be an entrepreneurial channel. I was gonna share my experiences with e-commerce, and I suddenly just kind of got into the credit card game. I never planned on it, you guys, and I never woke up one day saying, I'm gonna be the credit card guy. I know it's gonna happen. It just kind of happened naturally after I posted that one video of the unboxing. One of the things that I hear all the time from people my age especially is, I don't want to get into credit cards because I'm not making enough money, or I'll get credit cards next year when I have better money coming in or more cash flow, or I'll learn about it later, or are you sure you're able to do this, or you know, cash is king, credit is debt, credit is bad. I hear the whole 9 yards from people, and at this point I don't really bother trying to convince them. It's like, if you want to get credit cards next year and you don't want to feel the benefits now, then that's on you. I don't have time now to convince people the true power of credit. Now, the way I feel like my friends think, I feel like that's the way a majority of the world thinks, and the way to change that stigma is to literally just continue posting content like this, posting videos catered towards a beginner's audience. So when they see something like this, and if you're watching this and if you're able to relate just a little bit, maybe I'm gonna help you get these credit cards, you start your journey, and you end up being able to travel the world for free for the rest of your life. Now guys, after I got the Discover card, it was the Chase cards, now I have the American Express Gold card, now I have the American Express Marriott Bonvoy card, and I'm actually looking to get the Platinum soon in a couple months once I do a bit more traveling. But the whole point of this video was to kind of share you guys my story. I'm always curious to hear other people's stories and other influencers on YouTube on how they got into credit cards or how they ended up making credit card videos. I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments, how did you guys get into credit cards? I want to hear your story. I know, like, I've heard some stories in our Facebook group where people were like, yeah, I got into credit cards because this girl was like, why the hell are you using a debit card? You're not getting any rewards. And he was embarrassed, and then after that he ended up getting into credit cards. There have been a lot of stories like that, and yeah guys, I believe my story is very similar to like a lot of people's. You know, my parents did not have a good experience with credit cards. I was always getting consistently told, don't get credit cards, they're bad for you, and they never gave me a specific reason why. It was just, don't get it. And you know, I understand the perspective of a lot of people, because if you go through a time where you go through a lot of struggle, you're definitely gonna get some sort of, I don't want to say PTSD, but it's some form of that. You're gonna get some form of trauma, and you just don't want your own kin to be affected by the same thing that you were. Now, the way I look at it now is credit cards is literally the best thing that has happened to my life. Not only have I been able to create a YouTube channel on it, but I've also been able to create another community inside of credit cards. I believe this community is gonna continue to grow, like exponentially grow. But I really believe credit cards is like one of the most diverse group of people. I have a huge age range demographic, huge occupation demographic, and people just from all different sorts of the planet just reach out to me. Now, one thing which kind of blows my mind is, I don't know why females don't look into credit cards. Now, on my videos, about 95% of viewers are male and then 5% are female, and I feel like this translates a lot to other YouTube channels as well with credit cards. I don't know why girls don't like get into credit cards. I don't know why we don't see any girl credit card YouTubers out there either. I feel like that's a huge possibility of a niche, because, and I have no idea why there's such a huge gender gap within this type of niche. I don't know. You guys can shoot me your theories, but I wanted to let you guys know that really was my story. I can go way more in depth another time, but I did want to make a video like this. If you guys have some sort of credit card story, maybe you guys also had the same story like me, like your parents were traumatized and you were always told not to get credit cards, and then one day you saw American Express Gold card and you're like, I need to work hard to get that card. I don't know what your story is, but I'm really curious, you guys. So let me know right down below in the comments what your story is, how you got into credit cards. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, do all those things, make sure you drop a turd, and guys, I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. Aww. There wasn't a huge positive stigma on getting credit cards. There really wasn't. And I believe my story is really similar to the way, and guys, blooper. Guys, sometimes I just stutter, sometimes. Where were we? Where were we? Women and men, we all have the same finances. There's no real difference in it, and I don't know why there's such a huge gender age gap range with, and I have no idea why there's such a huge gender